It began as a childhood dream, the idea of living in a treehouse. Not a playhouse, not a novelty, a home. A structure suspended between earth and sky, where every sunrise feels earned and every gust of wind reminds you that you're alive. I didn't want a tourist attraction or a weekend escape. I wanted a fully functional off-grid treehouse that I could actually live in sustainably, quietly, and completely independent. When I found the right spot, I knew it instantly. A cluster of old oaks stood tall on a slope overlooking a small valley. Their trunks were wide, their roots ancient. They had stood through storms, seasons, and decades, and now they'd become the pillars of a home. The first step was design. Building in the air isn't like building on the ground. Trees move. They sway, expand, and breathe. So instead of fighting nature, I designed with it. A floating platform, anchored to 3 main trunks, with suspension joints that could flex with wind and growth. It was engineering and respect in equal measure. I started the build by installing heavy-duty lag bolts and tension brackets into the trees, not piercing their core, just gripping firmly around their structure. Every piece of hardware had to balance strength and kindness. You're not conquering the tree, you're collaborating with it. Once the anchors were in place, I built the main platform. It was made of pressure-treated beams, cross-braced like a bridge, and suspended 10 feet off the ground. The moment I stood on it for the first time, the world looked different, quieter, smaller, more distant. That feeling alone made every drop of sweat worth it. The walls and frame came next. I used lightweight cedar and pine, strong enough to last but light enough to reduce stress on the structure. Every wall was pre-built on the ground, then hoisted up piece by piece using pulleys and rope. Working up there, suspended among branches, tools hanging from belts, wind in your face, it tests your balance, patience, and fear all at once. When the roof went up, the build finally felt real. I chose a steep A-frame design with a recycled metal finish, simple, resilient, and rainproof. I added an overhang to shade the windows and catch water runoff into a collection barrel below. Every design choice was guided by one principle: self-sufficiency. Then came the off-grid systems. I mounted solar panels on the roof, wired them to a compact lithium battery bank hidden under the floor, and added LED lights, USB outlets, and a small inverter. For water, I set up a rain collection system feeding into a filter and gravity-fed line for the kitchen and shower. Heating came from a small wood stove, perfectly sized for the space. In the evenings, the soft hum of wind through leaves mixed with the crackle of fire, harmony in sound form. Inside, I wanted it to feel like a home, not a novelty cabin. I built a loft bed tucked beneath the peak of the roof, a fold-out table that doubled as a desk, and shelves built into every spare inch of wall space. The floor was reclaimed maple, smooth, warm, and full of imperfections that made it human. For the kitchen, I kept it simple: a propane stove, a deep sink, and open shelves made from fallen branches sealed in resin. Every surface was functional. Nothing wasted, nothing just for show. The bathroom was the hardest challenge. I built a composting toilet system using ventilation pipes and a small fan powered by the solar setup. It worked perfectly, clean, odor-free, efficient. A small gravity shower attached to an outdoor tank completed the setup. It wasn't luxury, it was liberation. When the final details came together, the railing, the rope ladder, the small balcony that looked out over the forest, I stepped back and realized what I had done. I hadn't just built a structure in a tree, I had built a way of living. The first night I slept there, the sounds were unfamiliar. The creak of wood, the whisper of branches brushing the walls, the distant call of an owl. I'll be honest, it wasn't peaceful at first. It was alive, and that's what made it perfect. You don't sleep in nature here, you sleep with it. Every sound becomes part of the rhythm. Over time, it changed me. Living in that treehouse stripped away the noise of modern life, not just literal noise, but the mental kind. You start thinking differently when every watt of power, every drop of water, and every degree of heat depends on your own effort. You stop taking convenience for granted. You start valuing balance. People always ask if it's safe. The answer is yes, as safe as anything worth doing. It's built on calculation, respect, and a little faith. The trees hold it. The design supports it. But ultimately, it's your trust in your own hands that keeps it standing. And when you wake up there, above the fog line, sunlight dripping through the canopy, birds landing on the railing, you feel something that's hard to explain. It's not comfort, not pride, it's belonging. You've stopped living against nature and started living within it. Building an off-grid treehouse isn't about escaping society. It's about remembering your place in the world, small, capable, and deeply connected. If you ever get the chance, build one. Not just to live above the ground, but to rise above the noise. Because up there, among the branches, with the sky as your ceiling and the earth as your foundation, you realize something powerful. You were never meant to live far from nature, only far from distraction. And that's the truth no one tells you about building off-grid. It is not just about independence. It's about returning home,